All right, let's do this. Might do a little judgment. Maybe do. Cut. All right, let's do this. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Anvil. This is kicking off season two, episode one. We went through 25 episodes so far. Hope you guys are liking them. I know this is just before Christmas, but this is going to drop after the first of the year. So if you're watching this, Happy New Year. It's 2026. From 2025. Anyway, I'm just jumping on here to talk a little bit like we did our first episode. Forgive me, I'm still kind of fixing the camera here and keep my focus. Yeah. We got a new studio. Hopefully the echo's not too bad. I think I got it fixed. This microphone I got works pretty good. Hold on, coffee. Mm. And we're going to do a shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Emily at Emily Casting Craft. So, if you're looking for knife handles for your knife making projects, check out Emily Casting Craft on Facebook at Emily Casting Craft there on Facebook. I think she's got some other social media. You can go back and check on episode 23. Check her out. Check her episode out. Listen to that. She's got drops everything she needs to know about her. If you're a knife looking for having a custom knife made, you want some custom scales, Emily's your gal. So, um, 25 episodes. Wow. My goal when I first started doing this is to do a year. Um, I would say we're almost halfway through that. Probably not much. Let me clear my phone here. Turn that upside down. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'm enjoying this. I had some great conversations so far. Um, I think I'm getting a little bit better. Definitely let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe on Spotify or wherever you're listening to. Drop a comment down there. Let us know how we're doing so far after the first 25 episodes. Let us know who you'd like to see on the show. We're going to try to reach out and get some really awesome people on here. A lot more Fortune Fire guys, a lot more knife makers, businesses. Again, this is just behind the anvil, talking conversations, giving folks like myself a spotlight on a podcast where they normally might not be able to get on such. I'm having fun. This is a new relaxation thing. On this episode, I'm going to try to share a family story, and this is going to be fun. Hopefully, don't get taken down or anything because, well, this story literally happened 100 years ago when my grandfather was in his boyhood times, probably somewhere between 8 and 18 years of age. Um, Again, a totally different time. This was the 1920s. My grandfather was born in 1915, Glenn Peterson. Uh, Actually, George Glenn Peterson as it was his name. Born in 1915 here in Salina, Utah. I should have wrote down his father's name, but this is a family story. It's been passed down for last couple of generations. So let's get into it. Behind the anvil. I'm going to try to do some more. See if we can do a roll in intro or whatever. Love to do a different, other than Zoom. Do that StreamYard where we can do a little bit more. But hey, we're going to get there. We're going to start a Patreon account so we can get our studio, basically part of my house, um, studio fixed up, more insulated, have some cool stuff on the wall. So you don't have to see the AI generated logo here, which would look pretty good. But hopefully Dan DeMille at Valor. Boy, am I just going squirrel today? ADHD, trying to focus on the camera here. Dan DeMille of Valor Printing and Art of DeMille. Check them out on all social media, just those names. But yeah, on to it. Let's get into it, dive into it. Episode one of season two. Family stories from yesteryear. Okay. First of all, disclaimer here. Gun safety is 100% be safe with guns. Don't treat them stupidly. Always treat them as they're loaded. Keep the safety on. Sometimes maybe it's not a bad idea to keep that chamber clear, especially on rifles or transport or etc. Again, here at Behind the Anvil at Mike's Damascus Knives and anything at American Bladesmith, we 100% don't encourage or anything stupid with firearms, okay? Again, this was 100 years ago. In the 1920s, things were a lot different then. People saw things way different. Uh, yeah, so that being said, don't try this at home, folks, especially firearms. Maybe paintball guns. Paintball guns are good. Yes, paintball guns, paintball wars are fun. But they didn't have paintball guns back then. Back then they had 22 rifles. And these kids, again, some people are going to be like, where were the parents' supervision? Well, 1920, folks. People were busy trying to survive farming, ranching here in little old Solana, Utah, right here in the central Utah. This story takes place what is known as the Lost Creek Desert, or as today the Salina Industrial Park. So hold on, let me get some coffee here. Hmm. Oh, that's good. All right. So what they would do, and my grandfather would do, and him and his friends, they would go out. Let's see if I can get through without checking. They'd go out riding their horses out in the Lost Creek Desert, which is probably 5 miles that direction, literally where I'm sitting, just south of Salina, out in what's known as the Industrial Park. They get all their buddies together and they'd be on their horseback and they'd be out with their rifles and what they would call cowboys and Indians. Again, for latitude, I know people are worried about that. Oh, this, that. Oh, wait a second. Trump's in office. Who cares? Let's get on with it. All right. So, what they would play is cowboys and Indians. Well, how would they play cowboys and Indians with 22s? Okay. Again, don't crucify me in the comments on this. Uh, so, what they would do, they divide up. Half of them would get a big long stick of about 3, 4 feet above their head. They would put an old tin can on it, on top of that stick. They would then take that stick, slide it down the back of their shirt, and tie it up. So that can was probably 3 or 4 feet above their head. Again, do not try this. Maybe with paintball guns, but not with live firearms. The other guys would ride with their 22s, and they'd go riding out through the Lost Creek Desert, chasing each other to shoot off the can off the top of the stick. Yeah, that's right. They would go riding horses, running, trotting, however they did it. Again, this was 100 years ago. My grandfather was in his probably about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old at the time. And this is just what they did. Uh, and they would literally shoot the can off the top of the head. And I'm thinking, man, where were their parents? I don't know if their parents really knew what they were doing. Because if you did that today, you'd be trumped up on, us as parents would be trumped up on all sorts of child neglect charges. The kids would be charged with a bunch of firearm, even though they're mine. Again, firearm safety, folks, firearm safety. Uh, I've been wanting to do this story for a while, so I'm trying to get through it. So hopefully bear with me. But yeah, they would go out there in the high desert, Lost Creek Desert out there south of Salina, and chase each other to shoot off this tin can off the top of the stick that's 3 or 4 feet above them. I don't know how often they did this or how many times they did it so far, but the only injury that I was told, again, this story was handed down, um, was somebody was either shot through just the ear or through the hand. I can't remember which. It's kind of been back and forth. I think I want to say somebody's ear was clipped. Again, not smart, folks, not smart. But that's about the only injury that my grandfather said happened when he was growing up. That kid went back home whimpering and whining, and a couple hours later, he was back out there on his horse, trotting along, doing the same thing again. Out there horsing around again. Was it smart? No. But these also, you got to take the fact these kids grew up with a rifle in their hand most of the time. They were out hunting rabbit, squirrel, trapping, fishing, hunting. This was the 1920s in Utah. I mean, that's what they did. They did farming, ranching. My great grandfather was a very large cattleman in the area. They ran cattle between Salina and Kanab. They'd push them towards Kanab during the winter, bring them back up here between Sherm, Fish Lake area, Gooseberry area. We still have land patents on what that was. So that's what they did. They were fairly good with rifles, obviously because nobody died. Again, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying, but again, this is 1920s, so. But yeah, that's what they do. They'd run around chasing each other with 22s, shooting cans off of a stick above their head. I mean, that shows you another what the life was back then on the day. Um, it just probably way too much freedom. And again, I guess you could say survival of the fittest. I mean, thank God nobody died. I mean, yes, somebody got an ear clipped or their hand shot through the hand or something. Like I said, I think it was more the ear. I'll have to confirm on that for another episode, but there you go. Stories of yesteryear. Grandpa used to go out and playing cowboys and Indians. The Indians were the stick, the can above their head, so they'd shoot that off. You shot that off, you were out of the game, and continue on. Again, was this happened a few more times throughout their life. Um, there was one time they were out there riding, playing their games in the local group that was here at the time. They were out riding along, and all of a sudden, here comes a bunch of the Indian folks on their horseback riding, chasing, hooping, hollering, everything else. Scared the snot out of my grandfather and his friends, and they took off full speed back towards town. Um, Later on, Grandpa said that he didn't think they were in any harm or anything because every time he turned around and looked at the Indian over his shoulder, the guys that were chasing him uh, had great big grins from ear to ear, just a hooping and hollering, having all sorts of fun. Of course, it scared the snot out of my grandpa and, of course, all his buddies and everything. And I think that's pretty much what ended their little game of cowboys and Indians of shooting a can off the top of their heads. So there you go, folks. I mean, I know it's kind of a short, sweet story, but yeah, I don't recommend doing that. Now, I have thought about it later on. Paintball. Maybe go out in the same area. Can't really do it in the same area where they were. Yeah, yeah, could go towards the south where there's less. And then you got I-70 that runs through that area too. There's little areas you could ride around. But I think, going out with some buddies with a paintball gun, maybe put the can up there and recreate it with paintball guns, but definitely not 22. So, yeah, different time. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure they had their firearm safety too as well, but kids be kids, and I never heard anything or read anything. I wish they kept more journals on stuff like that. I kind of would be wondering what would happen if his parents found out about that, what they would say. Uh, Probably kick some britches up around the quarter, but yeah, definitely a fun, interesting story there if you want to think about it. Let's get some coffee here. Um, but yeah, there's something kind of fun about kicking off the new season of Behind the Anvil. Funny story. Dive into that a little bit. Not a good idea. Now, paintball gun today in today's world, I'm sure they would if they had paintball gun technology back in the 1920s, they would have done that. Would have been a lot safer too. But again, I guess the only injury they ever had was somebody got maybe grazed by a bullet and on the ear. Best idea? Not so much. I mean, I got some other funny stories about that, about my grandfather, actually my great great grandfather. Again, this is stories have been handed down. Um, when they lived in Kashur, his father um, was ordered. They were part of the church at the time of the LDS Church. Was instructed to go down to settle what is known as Grass Valley, or as Kashur, Utah. That area was considered Grass Valley. Still considered Grass Valley today. There you got Burrville. You've got a couple of little towns there as well. Or you go up on the mountain there by Fish Lake. One of the stories was that was handed down is that again, this would be my grandfather's father. So that would be, yeah, I can't do the math very well. Anyway, three generations back, two grandfathers back. My grandfather, his dad. So my great grandfather, I guess. There we go. Never been able to do the genealogy and everything great, quite well. But when he was a kid growing up in Kashur, um, the local Indian tribe that was there, and everything was kind of after the war and everything, they settled down. And they made the peace treaty there. He was growing up as a kid and befriended the Indian chief's son. Now, for one reason or another, was it one of the bugs that went around, or just something happened? A bug, most likely, probably one of the smallpox or whatever kind of bug at the time. Fortunately, this little boy, the friends with my great grandfather, passed away. Well, again, according to legend, to story, again, this is just according to legend. The way I understand it, a lot of the times the Indian folk would bury the local tribe would bury items of that person with them so they could have them in the happy hunting ground. Again, this is under my understanding of it. Um, so decided that they were going to hunt down my great grandfather and bury him with uh, the Indian chief's son. So they spent about a month chasing him around apparently, and they had to hide him. They've hid him everywhere. I think they finally put him down in Kanab because there was a small farmhouse at the time down there as well. Again, they used to run cattle between here and Kanab at such time. So they spent about a month or two. Again, this is just legend from my family, the Peterson line. I was trying to hunt him down and put him in to bury him with them so he would have a friend and have a hunting ground. Um, Kind of glad they didn't. It was unsuccessful because well, I wouldn't be here making cool knives. I wouldn't have your guys' great support here in the knife shop. Sorry, I'm being ADHD. I saw something in the corner of my eye driving me nuts, so bear with me here. It's almost wrapping up. Again, we're recording this in 2025. I know this is 2026 episode, but man, where'd the year go? But we're kicking it off. I hope you guys have been having fun. There's a couple little stories from my family line. I've got a few more that I might share later on. Um, I'm kind of hoping I can convince my dad to come on and let us record some of his stories about being in Vietnam. That would be great. Again, we'll see if he wants to. Um, be awesome stuff. So, but anyway, I want to know from you guys if you're still watching this or listening to this. We need to know who would you like to see on this program, on my podcast. Again, my goal is to get through a full year, reevaluate then. We're in season two because I want to keep it down to about 25, 30 episodes per season. We might go 30 for this one to round it out for the year. That'll be in August for 1 year of doing this. And we started on about a half hour, and I decided, we're going to go upgrade to so we can go 2, 3, 4 hours if we want on this platform of recording, and then we can put it out and everything else through our podcast delivering system, RSS system, however you want to call it, our host site. It's cool to see. I mean, I've seen downloads in Brazil, France, Australia. I think I saw one in Germany, England, a couple of times. I haven't gone back and checked the analytics yet on that so far. We're kicking them out here on our YouTube channel, American Bladesmith. I just did a Omni clip, bought that package for a year. I'm going to try to learn how to run that, do some clips and everything, and post them out. You can follow us on our Facebook page at Behind the Anvil. That's about the only one on there. I could set up an Instagram. Kind of don't want to, but I think I'm going to have to. A lot of it goes out on Mike's Damascus LLC. We can catch things on our website at www.mikesdamascusknives.com. It just, when you rehearse stuff, squirrel moment, when you rehearse stuff, I've been thinking about this episode for quite a while. I was thinking about it quite a bit while I was doing some computer work. And you think I can get it out straight? Probably not. But hey, we got coffee, we got our water, well, we got some great episodes. I think we got three more. It's going to drop. Oh, wait a second. We're in January. We're not going to worry about that. We're in January when this comes out. This is January 5th when you're hearing this. So if you're hearing this, like three more episodes, what are you talking about? Again, I'm recording for the future. I've got some more coming up, got some lined up. Got to make a phone call with a friend of mine. But yeah, I got some great guys that want to come on here. If you are listening to this and you got a small business, you're making something hand by hand or whatever, or it's just a little bit of social media marketing, you got a cool, fun story or whatever, that's what I want to do. I want to spotlight small business people like myself, like mine, who wants to build their business, build their brand, because you know what? We are a brand. And it's took me a long time of Kevin and Jeff and Mallory and Brad and everybody else and Robert Garcia. Gonna get him on this program. Yep, getting him on here. And but getting them guys beating it in my head, you are the brand. So I know I don't got my Mike Smash t-shirt on right now. I should. But hey, I got a card. Here, I'll just do that. But wherever you're listening to this, we'd appreciate some comments, some likes. Give us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Let me know what I can do to improve. I've been trying to do more about notes and everything else. Um, ChatGPT for me is a hell of a lifesaver when coming up with just questions. Me for sitting there like, and I kind of think on the fly, off the cuff, when I'm in the shop grinding or forging or whatever I'm doing. Um, I come up with video ideas. Like I'll be doing something and trying to do shorts, doing a lot of shorts. YouTube is where it's really kicking for me. Not so much on TikTok. Quite honestly, I think I'm going to probably do away with TikTok. I'm not sure I'm going to throw it on there if I can get some more followers. If we can get it up to a couple thousand followers in the next 6 months or whatever, I'll probably keep it. But again, my views are in the 300 range. Again, I know you're supposed to chip at it, chip at it, chip at it, and everything else, but I've had that account for quite a while. Been doing a lot more lately since I come back from working for somebody else, and I'll tell you what, excuse me on that. So fun. Apparently, I got a nice little cold that's been going around, so yay. Has hit me as hard, so I've been doing calcium, magnesium, and zinc, and vitamin D, so that keeps you healthy. There we go with the squirrel moment. But yeah, let us know what we're doing, how we're going, and everywhere else, and how I can improve this because the purpose behind this, like we said in previous season, purpose of this is have great conversation with folks, um, give people exposure, give my shop exposure, more shop to bring back towards the knife shop. I don't have a problem supporting other people because they have supported me. We're going to take a break real quick and come back because I'm going to go blow my nose and so you guys can hear me without me going choking on the back of this stuff in my back of my throat. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, and real quick, real shout out for our episode sponsor, Emily Casting Craft, where you can get some awesome custom handle scales for your knives. Actually, I think she's done a few pistol grips too. So if you want looking for something custom for a custom made knife, if you're a knife maker, you want some unique scales to sell with your knives, put on there. You can find her on Facebook at Emily Casting Craft. Giving her a big shout out. I was talking with her the other night, and she's like, "Boom! I got this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. I'm gonna message him for you." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So, um, but yeah, Emily Castencraft. If you're looking for have a custom knife made and you're not sure if you want some really nice burls or whatsoever, or what kind of handle material you want to try something unique, you want something unique made, she's your girl, Emily Castencraft. Also, don't forget, check her episode. I believe it's episode 23 or 24. Go check that out. I should have had again, should have my notes. I am going to get some notes and put up above here. Um, I'm set up with my reloading bench. I moved into a different section here. Hopefully there's not an echo in here. So far, this microphone, shout out to Kevin. Thanks for the recommendation of that. Yeah, and that's yeah, Emily Castencraft. on Facebook. Check her out. Check her stuff out. She does some really great stuff. We had her on this behind the episode. Behind the episode. Yes, behind caffeine's kicking in, folks. Hopefully you haven't turned it off and everything else. But Emily Casting Crafts on Facebook. Check her out. Check her episode out. Hear her story from coming from growing up in Bolivia. Bolivia. That's not right. Yeah, Bolivia. A European country that nobody really has heard of a lot. And that's what she said there. Um, Very interesting story how she come from over there to here and everything else and where she is today. It's a hell of an awesome story and a great message there as well. And also the other episodes we checked out with Tim, with John, um, Pastor Ryan. I know everybody else has been on this podcast. Oh, hell, I forgot to go do some marketing. I forgot to drop one this morning. Yeah. I'm jumping back in the dating pool, and this is no excuse for screwing up my other stuff, but we got back home late last night. Was totally not thinking about marketing. Um, yeah, we're gonna see where that goes. I'm not gonna mention her name or anything. She don't want to, yeah, I don't want her to kill me. So, hopefully by the time you're listening to this, it's gone a little bit better. Again, this is being recorded in December, but this is for 2026. I can't believe we're here already. But yeah, anyway, things are going good so far. I've been able to manage to stay here working full time for myself. Last year at this time, I was working for other people. Um, did not like it because I was stuck in my own head and bitching and complaining and whining to myself. And I probably would have done a lot better if I had just swallowed my pride and then just went and worked. And I did the best for the most part. I didn't care for the shift, and I found another place closer to home. It was all right. I'm not going to mention who they are or what exactly, but it didn't last very long. And I have to say, that was the first time I ever got fired from a job. I've been laid off, but not actually fired. And I don't think they realized how much mutual it was because I kind of went, "Oh, thank God," when they fired me. I don't think that made them too happy, but that's okay. Um, won't go into details because it does. In the end, it didn't really matter. I was not happy there anyway. Towards the end, the work was good, just other things in there was not so much. Except for the coworkers. Coworkers were badass. But I am not, as my friends have said, I am an acquired taste. Not everybody's cup of tea. But hey, that's okay. Because you know why? Because that means I don't fit the mold of everybody else. And that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, those who me, those who knew me, know me well. Those who didn't, you're missing out. I screwed that up. Again, I had this all thought out earlier, and of course, wonderful word ADHD. Everybody's like, "Oh, maybe you should try Adderall." No, thank you. I'm not trying any mind altering stuff that's not natural. Now, I have thought about doing some other stuff and trying that out as a therapy and therapeutics. I've got to get maybe back on that focus factor. I can't think of whatever Joe Rogan recommends. There's two of them he's recommended. I'm going to try the other one. Seems to work. I've got some of that memory of focus in here in the gummies, and it tastes like shit. I don't know if it's just getting older or what, but I should really take that anyway. But it just bleh. The gummies, they work, taste like crap. But that's just the bottle I got. I got it from Walmart. I guess it was cheap. But anyway, so I'm rambling here, so let's get back to it. We're gonna try to start. Brad's back to work, so we're gonna try to schedule and get some episodes of American Bladesmiths kicked out. First episode of that. We are gonna throw in some Smith versus Smith in that. Um, uh, like you mentioned earlier, we're gonna try to get a Patreon account going so we get you guys. You want to help support the show, support the podcast, support American Bladesmith. I'm gonna try to dump all content there first raw, straight out cut. As soon as it's recorded, boom, it goes out there so you guys can watch it there directly. We're going to take those funds and remodel this section of the room in my house here. It's actually a joint to my bedroom. Um, Lower the ceilings down, put some up, do some paint, get some lighting, um, get some chairs so when I do in-person interviews, get some better cameras. This camera doesn't seem too bad. It's a lot better than the computer one. I guess you gotta remember to look up, not look at myself on the screen here. So that way we get a couple of little cameras, get a little studio going. Probably have to hire maybe if I can convince the daughter to help out on an episode so she can run the computer, the switchboard, whatever, look up fun facts. But yeah, again, I hope you guys really enjoy this because this has been a lot of fun for me. I hope to continue this and see where it goes because I really don't have a plan for it. It's just like I said, off the cuff, and we roll with it. Have conversations. We kind of have a. I start with kind of a plan and just let it roll from there for people I interview. Let them share their story. See what we can talk about knives. Different kind of knives. Dive in more of that. Again, if you some subjects you guys want to talk about, want me to talk about, or find people to talk about with, um, in the knife industry, even if I want to keep it more into small business folks, kind of like myself, so give them a spotlight. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap this up. Get out of here and go go heat up some steel because I'm going to try some different stuff. What I'm doing is I got a coil spring that I'm gonna stretch out, cut it down straight, try to get that straight as I can. I've got some cable. I'm going to put that coil spring in the center of that cable, and I'm going to put four around it, maybe or however it turns out to be. And I'm going to forge weld that all together and then stretch it out. That way, it has a straight high carbon core, spring steel core in it, and see how that is. It's a lot smaller cable. It's about a half inch, so the cable pattern should be a lot finer than what the standard one I've been using. Should all look really good. I'm going to try to twist some of it up and see how that looks. Um, Doing the new forge for, oh, I need to schedule with them guys. Yeah, I need to reach out to them, get them on the schedule because I need to talk to the boss because she handles all the scheduling with them. Um, yeah. Anyway, so hope everybody's doing good. Hope you're enjoying this so far. Welcome to season 2 of Behind the Anvil. Again, shout out to our today's show sponsor, our unofficial sponsor, Emily Craft. Check her out on Facebook at Emily Craft. She's got some awesome handle skills. She can make, I believe she said she does stuff custom order as well. So check her out. Tell her I said hi. If you heard her from here, check it out. Go back, check her episode out, catch all her social media. I don't know if she has a website, but yeah. Got some awesome stuff coming up for 2026 to help benefit makers like myself. We're going to launch a app. It is currently under construction. Hope to have it probably mid 2026 out and available. So not only you can find myself, but other like makers like myself, knife makers, blacksmiths, armorists, um, basically, kind of where people that struggle on advertising on Facebook and social media where they get shadow banned and everything else, this will be a place you go in, hit search by either name or whatever you're looking for. We're gonna have some silversmiths on there, um, but and kind of a one-stop shop. You can sign up for the app. You can either pay a monthly subscription to it, a small fee. That's going to help provide to keep this app going because stuff costs money with the new technology. Um, but yeah, hopefully that'll be available here in the US at first. And then as it goes bigger, we're going to try to step it up and roll it up. We're still working on it. Actually, I came up with the idea because I kind of stole it from Brad and Kevin's idea of their app that's rolling out this month. And I'm going to get him on here and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be a great idea. Not sure if I should mention it yet because I know it's going to drop in January, which this episode's dropping in January. It's going to be awesome. Especially if you're a long haul truck driver trying to find something to eat or see if you got a local food wagon. There you go. There's an idea. Search engine. And it's going to be cool. But yeah, we're working on an app that's, we got one name. I don't want to say too much more here, but I know it's going to be in January, but I don't want to say anything yet, but it's gonna be cool. You can get on there, set your profile up as a purchaser. If you're a maker, you can get on and set that profile. Again, it will be charged just a little bit. You can, as a customer, get on there and subscribe, but you're gonna have ads and advertisements, kind of help pay for the app, so we can do advertising, so people can go there to our app, shop what they need, and get it there and find their maker that they want. And not have to worry about scams, or best we can. We'll filter it out. We'll have to approve. You got to send your stuff and everything else, prove to make who you are, whatever, so we don't have junk from those other places that like to scam our stuff. You know who you are if you're listening. Anyway, yeah, there's some awesome stories from my family. Again, what we're coming up with 2026. Not only help support people like myself, but other makers as well, and various from blacksmithing, even woodcraft. We're going to have also have suppliers on there too. So that way, if you want to pick a hand them scales up, send it to whatever knife maker you pick on there. Gives them, especially for those who don't have a website, this will give them basically a landing page for them to put their stuff up to sell. And yeah, I like it. Well, folks, thanks for letting me sit here and ramble on, go squirrel, squirrel. I hope you enjoyed those small, short stories behind my family. Again, gun safety. Always treat it like it's loaded. Keep your finger off the trigger. When you're putting it away, make sure that chamber is empty. But again, always treat your rifles correct. Maintain them, clean them up, and practice 100% gun safety, because, it's just like anything else. We don't want a dull knife. Let's keep sharp. And with that, we're going to tap out of here. Again, appreciate it. We better get some forging done. It's Monday. And this is pretty much all I've got done so far. Um, yeah, I like it. We're going to cut here. Again, as we say in the shop, here on Behind the Anvil, stay sharp, America. And also remember, Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. If you don't know him, reach out. We'll have a conversation. Because I'm not the best. I can probably help you put you in the right directions as well. If you're looking for somebody, if you're having a hard time, and especially this time of year, need somebody to reach out to me, or the National Suicide Hotline, 998 or 988. Sorry, I messed that up. I apologize. Um, but reach out. Send us a message. I'll try to, if I don't catch it, somebody else will. But anyway, remember, Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior. He came here to save us all, and that's what he did. So God bless America. God bless you. And yeah, stay sharp.